All right, so I wanted to do an update. It's been, I don't know, an extremely, extremely long time. Like, I don't know, 6 months or something since I've done an update, I think. So I had top surgery March 5th, and just in time to be healing during the beginning of the pandemic taking off. And I have been on T since for like 3 months. I don't know why I can't remember, but it's something in that ballpark. Um, so I just wanted to give an update. I'm doing topical tea, so I have some insights on that I think could be helpful. That are things that I've learned, yeah, and I wanted to talk about my top surgery. So, for anyone who hasn't seen any past videos, I don't like nobody watches these, but like I wanted to share my experience just because I am 37, almost 38 years old. So, it's not like I'm that old, but like a lot of people going through the beginning stages of medical transition are oftentimes in their late teens or early 20s. So, I just figure like there are some things that you might experience like later into, your adulthood that with transition that might be a little bit different. Like in your like late 20s and 30s and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, so I went for top surgery March 5th with Dr. Kenneth Wolf in Michigan. I live in Michigan, so it was very convenient because his office is like a half hour away. But also he's an extremely skilled, very good top surgeon, and people come from all over the country to have surgery with him. His surgery is not covered by insurance. I paid out of pocket, so it was $6,400 for double incision with nipple grafts, and that covers everything, all the appointments, pre and post op appointments, anesthesia, everything. It's all done in his own surgical center that's on site. So that covers all supplies, everything, the compression binder. So yeah, so I'll show you my top surgery results. I'm like thrilled. I have a little bit of like pimples on my chest, so don't judge me for any like red spots. So these are my these are my results. So I am almost 5 months post-op. God, that's wild, right? Yeah, I guess I'm almost 5 months post-op. So, yeah, I have like full range of motion. Let me see. So this is what it looks like from the side. This side. Let me see if I can show you scars up close. Here. So, I have a little bit of raised scarring. Sorry, I have some pimples, like whatever. I have a little bit of raised scarring here. Not a big deal. I think it'll go away. The scarring on this side is much better. I have still a tiny bit of swelling, like right here. I had a lot of swelling over here. I had a hematoma, actually. Not one that had to be drained or anything, but it was discovered when they took my drains out. So this side was had a little bit more trauma to it, so I have these raised scars. But I'm like honestly thrilled with how I'm healing. It feels, it's not numb. Like there's maybe a little bit of, maybe like a partial, like not numbness, but a partial recovering from numbness. I kind of like right along the incision line here. I do have nipple sensation. Obviously it's different than it was before. Nipple sensation was never anything I was very attached to, but I can, like, they're not numb. I can totally feel them. And it's funny because the nipples, this one does respond to touch and cold. Like this one, maybe this one does too. Like even when I go swimming, it's pretty wild. I don't know if that's normal. I figured that they would never respond to stimuli anymore, but they do. So, but I can feel them. They definitely feel different than the regular skin. Like the sensation is different. This one is a little more numb, but so everything went great, honestly. I was in the compression vest for 2 weeks. The day that I got my drains out, I took the binder off and never put it back on. It was actually so constricting that it was like aggravating my asthma. I was feeling short of breath, so I actually just took it off and never put it back on. I haven't had any issues with healing, honestly, at all. Even this little hematoma thing I had, like I said, it didn't even need to be drained. It just like it was just a little more swollen and bruised on this side, and then like the drain, like just regular like fluid or whatever was coming out of this drain, but it was all like old blood that was coming out of this drain. So it was some kind of mild hematoma. So yeah, I mean, as far as scar care goes, I have been using a like medical marijuana infused topical cream. I started using that pretty early on. Like as soon as the scars seemed really sealed, I was putting it on, and then as it healed more, I was massaging it. As of this week, I started using Palmer's cocoa butter just because I've seen some other people have really good results with it, really softening and lightening the scars. But I'm honestly thrilled with how they look. I don't even feel like they've stretched that much. And to be honest with you, I'm not really that careful. Like I'm doing push-ups and lifting weights, and I, reaching up over my head, and I haven't really been too careful. I've just been kind of back to normal life. So anyway, that's my top surgery. Like I said, I'm thrilled. As for testosterone, I am on a topical cream. It's a compound cream, so it's made at a special compound pharmacy. And so it's not like the alcohol gel based. It's like just looks like a white, like normal, like a face cream or something. But I did want to talk about my experience with the cream because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the cream, and then there's also just not a lot of information about it, and I've learned a lot, and I wanted to share. It's working great. First of all, I will say that a lot of people say like, oh, the cream doesn't work, like you'll never get like as high of levels as you will with injections. And I found that to actually not be true. But I did find that I had to figure out the best way to apply it to work for me. So I was initially was on a low dose. I'm now on a full dose, but I was initially on a low dose. I don't know what the doses are, but I was told to put it on the inside of my upper arms, alternating arms every day, or on the inside of my lower leg or ankle. I was doing that for a month, and I got my T levels tested, and they were barely above my pre-T levels, like barely, like they were very low. And my doctor was saying like, are you not applying it? Like what's going on? So we determined that actually, as soon as I moved away from applying to heavily tattooed areas, like everything, like my legs, everything I'm very heavily tattooed, and we figured out that applying in those areas, I think it was somehow blocking it from fully absorbing, or like it wasn't absorbing fast enough. It just wasn't, my body wasn't taking it in. And so I switched to applying it, like I apply it in this area, just like above my belly button, like in a square like this. It's just like one little pump. It's like that much. And I just spread it evenly over this area every morning. And within 10 days of doing that to the non-tattooed area right here, my T levels were within like cis male range. So it's crazy that something like such a small difference in like, just between here and here, like made such a huge difference in my levels. But I've only been on the higher dose for 2 months, and then I've only been where I switched it to apply here where my levels are in the right place for a month. So it's kind of almost like I've only been on T for like a month or two. as opposed to like actually being on it for like 3. What I have noticed as far as changes is voice. You know, I can definitely, it's definitely changing, but it's a strange thing where I'm like fighting the muscle memory my whole life of the register I'm used to speaking in. So like at work and on the phone and just a lot of interacting, I kind of am like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm kind of forcing my voice to be at the level I've been used to speaking for decades. Even though actually if I can speak in a lower voice, and I can, it's a very unusual thing to get used to. It's hard to explain, but it's like almost like my muscle memory is fighting the changes and it's wanting to speak in the other register just because I'm so used to it. But I definitely am having voice changes. My neck has gotten thicker. I do have a little, I don't know if you can see a little bit of an Adam's apple. I had none before, no natural, and I had a extremely high voice. So that's changing. I definitely have gotten an increase in body hair, leg hair. I've always been pretty hairy, like, but I definitely have, I know it's kind of bleached out because of I'm by an open window, but I definitely have increased leg hair. And I also have like a little bit of, you probably can't see it, like a little bit of a happy trail. I had none of that before. I have always had some facial hair since I was in high school. It has increased, so this is where I am right now. I shave here. I have some hairs here. I've also, I've always had some hairs here, but it's exponentially increased. This is pretty slow, but it's definitely increasing a bit. The increase in muscle mass was the absolute first thing I noticed, even just on the extremely low dose and putting it in the area where it wasn't even absorbing. I noticed an increase in muscle mass right away without doing anything. That's been my favorite thing. I have gained 10 pounds, which is something I needed to gain. I have been underweight for most of my adult life since I was like 18 years old. I did struggle with an eating disorder because of gender dysphoria for 11 years, where I was extremely underweight for that entire time. And that probably took a huge toll on my body, but it feels really good to be gaining weight, but it to be going to kind of distributing in places that don't make me feel dysphoric. And I mean, it's not much, but I do have muscle. It's like I can definitely notice muscle here and like kind of here. And, I'm not really doing much. I mean, I do some push-ups, some sit-ups. I've been lifting some weights, but I mean, I bike sometimes, but I'm a pretty regular person. I have a sedentary office job. I don't, I'm not as active as I probably should be. I've been a bit more hungry. It's kind of leveled off. I'm trying to think of any other changes. Anyway, sorry, it's kind of a long video. I just wanted to give an update just because, so much has happened. I'm really happy with the cream. And it's really not that big of a hassle. It takes about 20 minutes to 30 minutes to fully absorb. I get up a little earlier in the morning, put it on, and then I just wait until it's dry to the touch before I put a shirt on. Sometimes I even drive to work without a shirt on just to like kind of let it dry more before I get to the parking lot at work and put my shirt on. Excuse me. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful. Bye.